As many of you know, this is my second poetry book, and I'm excited to tell you about why I decided to publish it now and how that went. Hello again, artisans and art fans. My name is Bethel, and I'm on a journey to becoming a full-time artist and author in 2025. Now, this is airing October 1st, 2025, so that means I only have a quarter of the year remaining to accomplish that dream, and it's probably not going to happen. That said, we are getting much closer to at least a 50-50 of part-time day job and part-time artist and author. So that's a plus and a win. But that's not even what this video is about. Today we're going to talk about why I decided to crank out book number 2 over the summer. It's another poetry book. It's called A Woman's Work, Poems and Ponderings of the Heart. And I'm excited to tell you about why I published it and how I published it this summer. So why did I decide to publish this second book in a fever over the summer? Well, with the world on fire in the US in particular having so much turbulence, I had a lot on my heart and I wanted to express that. That's the short answer. The long answer is that this is a book for empaths, written by an empath. It is our nonviolent battle cry for how we heal the world through our words and our art and speaking out for humanity, our standing up for others. So what it looked like to publish a book this quickly was a little messy. I still don't have enough reviews as of this recording. I don't have reviews on the book. I have plenty of reviews inside the book, advanced reviews, and I kind of neglected to get ones after publication. So first step will be getting the people that wrote the advanced reviews to copy theirs over to the various platforms. But then just soliciting from readers. I do have the ebook available now, so I'm able to give out free copies of that in exchange for reviews, honest reviews, of course. But that's kind of like those little things, kind of, very important things. I shouldn't say those little things. Important things like reviews kind of got pushed to the back in the crunch to just crank it out. And there were some hiccups with Ingram Spark. I'm going to make a whole separate video about working with Ingram Spark, which has been kind of a nightmare, to be honest. But I'm afraid it might be an unavoidable nightmare because there's no other way to do certain things that you need to do if you want to be a wide author, wide meaning beyond just Amazon. So that was very important to me since I am boycotting Amazon except for buying my book from them. That's literally like the only thing I buy. So this book is about using our voices, our dollars, our everything, but it is poetry. So it is meant to challenge, it's meant to commiserate, it's meant to just hopefully bring some comfort to those who are struggling with everything that has been going on in the States and in the world. So if you have questions about the process, I kind of want to keep this video short, but if you have questions about my publishing process, please feel free to ask. One of the big reasons I wanted to crank out this book also from a more overall perspective of my big goal of becoming a full-time artist and author is that they always say what sells your first book is your third book. And so I was stuck at book 1 for a very long time, and now I have 2, so I'm getting that much closer to book 3. It was great to be at the KPBS book festival with 2 books this time and to be able to actually see like, oh, this person's not at all interested in this book, my first book, Conversations with Good Men, but they do want this other book, A Woman's Work, Poems and Ponderings of the Heart. So just having that, I can already see how much better it is. And from a pure numbers perspective, I can just say, I started out with my first book. Conversations with Good Men was my first book, and it was priced originally at $10. At some point, I raised it to $15. I think I was looking at comps online, Ruby Kaur, things like that, and her books were selling they were thicker books, and they were selling for less than $10, but Ruby Kaur sells millions of copies, so she can afford to do that. Poetry for most of us is sold by hand, And that means it's in person. That means it's people who are really buying more because they want to support you. So once they know they want to support you and they have an interest in your book, the price point, obviously if you made it like 50 or something ridiculous, that would not go over well in the USA anyways. But whether it's 10 or 15 or 20 is not that big of a difference in the sale, from what I've noticed. Like, I've never lost a sale when I've said that it was 20. So I did, with inflation and everything, I did raise the price of both books to 20. I have a few copies left of this that have the old price on the back. So obviously I can't sell that higher. So these are kind of like, get them while they're hot, get them while they're still in stock. But now both books are $20. And honestly, the math on it is just like, I think I had so much mental hangups around like my worth, comparisonitis, is my stuff really that great, all that stuff. And really, when I started thinking of it from purely like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be doing, and in order to be doing it, I need to make enough money that I don't have to do other things, that I can devote my time to doing this. And in order to do that, I realized that you don't get anywhere very far if you have to sell one book at $10 a copy. So you start to get a little somewhere. If you raise it to 20, the one book, then you sell 5 copies, oof, $100, great. But now that I have 2 books at $20, I feel like, okay, I could really get some traction there at events. And a lot of these events cost, $100, $200 or more to participate. So you would have to sell a number of copies to even cover your fee for participating. And that's something that of course you do events for more reasons than just sales, but at the same time, nobody wants to be taking a loss every year. And if you do take a loss for a certain number of years, at least in the USA, the IRS starts to consider you a hobby instead of a business. And I don't want that for my business. So, that's the update for now. Is I've got 2 books and I've priced them each at $20. The pricing varies in different countries, of course. And what I did do, I believe these copies do have the price in them, but what I ended up doing was I updated both of them to not have, both the covers to not have the price in there, so that if for some reason I need, if inflation keeps going up or whatever and I need to change it later, I don't have to get the whole book redesigned. So that was a choice that I made as well. So ebooks out there, print books out there, and eventually the audiobook will be coming of A Woman's Work. Right now I only have Conversations with Good Men on audiobook, but check them out if you're so led, if you're a poetry fan. And I'll be bringing you more art videos very soon. I'm working on editing those today. Also working on an art project. It's kind of a hot mess, or I'd show you. But I wanted to just explain my little absence. It wasn't a sabbatical. It was me doubling down and working hard. And sometimes I try to do a bunch of things at once and just none of them get done. So it made sense for me to just put my blinders on and crank this book out. So there's still a few little things to be done for the book, and primarily marketing, but it's out. Yeah, I'm very grateful for that. So thanks for listening to my spontaneous little TED Talk, and I will see you next week. It's called A Woman's Work, Poems and Ponderings of the Heart.